Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for dropping in. We really appreciate it. All right. Um, Look, are you prepared for failure and then recovery? Let's talk about that for a minute because it's different than what it sounds. And some people are more able to move forward. So let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
All right. Look, before I get a ration of shit, I'm not singling out individual types of people or anything like that. But I am going to tell you the facts. And the facts are, for those people, we see so many people that are so interested in coming to the Philippines on a limited budget. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you can live the way you want to live, all right, and you're happy, that's what really counts. So you're here, but where did you come from? That's the real question. And it's not physically where did you come from, but mentally where did you come from? And here's where I'm going to take a ration of shit. All right. Most men that come here from on a limited budget, most of these men were not major decision makers. Blue collars, no. They were no collar workers or blue collar workers. Most white collar workers have an advantage, not just financially, all right, but in the decision making process, the experience of the decision making process. And here's what I mean by that. Look, if you were a blue collar worker, and there's nothing wrong with that, we have great friends that are blue collar workers, all right? The idea that you were in the major risk taking decision making process is somewhat limited. In other words, let's say you were a builder, okay? Well, sure, you adjusted, adapted, did whatever you needed to do for the architecture to meld in and create, what it takes. But you didn't buy the land. You didn't put up the risk. You didn't develop the streets. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You weren't that decision process. We could go on, but that's the complex side of it. And just take it for what it's worth. When you come to the Philippines, you are now the decision maker. You have, whether you like it or not, you have assumed that risk and responsibility. Every day of your life here in the Philippines, you're the decision maker. And some of those days will fail. Some of those relationships, the relationship that you came here looking for, that you were partially into, a lot of those will fail. How is that going to impact you? Are you going to be mentally remorse? Are you going to feel bad for yourself? Or is it going to slow you down? Well, sure, there's always going to be, an emotional toll on the ending of a relationship, even if it's you that decides to end it. It's, did I do the right thing? Did this, did that? Okay, fine. But it's the decision process. Are you mentally prepared to pick your ass up and keep going? And that's where we see problems. Men that can't move on, men that won't move on. I don't care if you're here and you have no intention of getting into a relationship. That doesn't matter. Just the idea of today not ending up the way you wanted it to. That is sometimes seen by some people as a failure. Go on. Tomorrow's a brand new day. For God's sakes, you don't need you don't need to feel bad. None of us go forward without either making mistakes, making bad assumptions, taking risks that aren't exactly right, not being fully informed. That's all a learning process. For some of us, it's a process we learned a long time ago and we're used to it. And you pick yourself up and you go forward. For some of us, it's new. All right? When you spent your entire life performing tasks that somebody else set for you, and the actual individual change in those tasks is highly limited. You took no risks. You were told what to do. Men need to readjust. They need to recognize, today I'm responsible for everything. I'm responsible to get my laundry done. I'm responsible to get myself fed. I'm responsible to go get money from the bank. I'm responsible for this, that, and the other. Okay? These decisions for some men are new. They've never had to deal with the risk, or the risk has always been so minimal. Here, when some of that goes bad, you've seen all the other blogs about how it goes south fast. It's how quickly you pick your ass up off the ground, dust it off, and take 2 more steps forward. Don't let it impact you in a negative way. Measure it, look at it, evaluate it, see where you went wrong, and then adapt, change. All right? Don't make the same mistake twice if you can help it. Don't ever make the same mistake 3 times. That's just the easiest thing to be said. Finally, don't get in a funk over it. All right? Don't let it get to you mentally. Don't start to think of yourself in a fashion that you start to worry about the decisions that you're making. You should always measure those decisions. You should always evaluate risk and reward. You should always do all of those things. But just because you have a bad day doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be bad also. Use your mental capacity to get past any type of emotional damage that this might cause. Don't let it prey upon you. Don't do that. Just say, hey, I made a mistake. All right? You go forward. You just simply do that. We see men that can't do it. We see men that can't make those decisions. But at the same time, we see many men who can. All right? All you have to do is grow and adapt. And you're never too old to grow, and you're never too old to adapt. That's for sure. Look, in the comments below, let us know what you think, how you feel about it. Have you learned from your own mistakes? Did it really blister you and make it just simply not worthwhile? All right? We'd like to know how you really feel. Mental health is a big issue here. You don't have to look at it as, I'm crazy because I have a mental health problem. No, mental health means being happy and aware, all right? And it means being able to move on. It simply does. Measure your risk, measure your reward, get on down the road, learn from those mistakes. Those things are highly critical. It's just that simple. It really is. Otherwise, comment below. Let us know what you think, and have a great day.